What's up, everybody? Back today again with another movie, and I couldn't find anything new to watch. I know there's stuff out there, it's just not available where I can get it, so I thought I'd go with a classic, and this is the one I chose. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. I mean, always liked the film, but on this Blu-ray it looks freaking awesome as well. So let's talk about Prince of Darkness a little bit. Came out in 1987. Directed, written by John Carpenter. You know, he wrote it under an alias, but it is him. And it stars Donald Pleasence, Victor Wong, and the guy from Simon and Simon. I had to verify that that was him. But yeah, I used to watch the movie. I saw it when it first came in theaters, and I've always liked it, and that Blu-ray is awesome. The movie is basically about Donald Pleasence plays this priest, and he recruits Victor Wong, who's a college professor, and his graduate students to come to this church where they basically have evil contained in the basement. And it's kind of like this green goo. I know it sounds a little goofy, but the way they pull the things off is really awesome. You know, so the graduate students go there, and then they slowly become infected by this green goo, the ultimate evil, as they find out what these old religious texts say and what's actually in that thing. And it turns out, you know, it's evil. And in the meantime, they get surrounded by homeless people and bugs and all this stuff while they're in the church. And it's really creepy, and it holds up really well, you know, almost 30 years later. So let's get into the good and the bad real quick. I wrote a lot of good stuff because it's a pretty good freaking movie. First of all, I think Prince of Darkness was ahead of its time. Definitely ahead of its time. First of all, you kind of have that found footage effect where they dream of the future, which is 1999 in this, and they're getting like a signal from the future of the Prince of Darkness sort of leaving the church that they're in right now currently. And that just comes off as creepy. It always, you know, stuck in my mind from when I saw it when I was a little kid, and it's always just been there. It's creepy as hell. And then they talk about everything about like quantum mechanics and things on a quantum level, and it's got a, you know, heaping helping of sort of like ancient aliens mixed in there, sort of. So all those things, I just made it feel a little bit ahead of its time. So I already mentioned the dreams, but they are pretty freaking cool. It just added a lot to the movie because it kind of takes you out and has these cutscenes where they have these dreams, and the whole movie, the first time you see it, like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? And then by the end, you kind of figure it out. 4 is when the girl gets taken over in the movie. That's another dimension to the film. They have sort of this possession scene where this girl gets taken over by the evil, and man, it is pretty crazy, creepy, and hilarious at the same time, because there's this one dude trapped in a closet while she's transforming, and he's trying to escape to the other side, and that part always makes me laugh. Definitely. The soundtrack is a lot of synth, John Carpenter stuff, and you know, the beginning of the movie has like this extended period where there's hardly any dialogue, and they're, you know, they're rolling the credits and playing the synth music, and it really sets the mood for the movie. And of course, it works really well for the film, and as you watch the film now, like I said, it holds up and actually gives it that nice retro feel, which it is retro, but I don't know, whatever. Number 6 is Alice Cooper. He makes an appearance, and in '87 when it first came out, I think this was the first time I had heard of Alice Cooper. So, but it is kind of cool. What it plays into, it's like these homeless people all surround the church, so they can't leave when they're trapped there by the evil. And the way they kind of explain why it can control the evil people and the bugs and stuff, I thought that was pretty freaking cool and added to the movie. And if you're a fan of Alice Cooper, I guess it's cool. And number 7, I wrote down, guys now wish they could make a movie like this. Seriously, you know, it's got the synth, it's that throwback to 80s, even though it's not a throwback, it is an 80s movie, technically, late 80s. You watch horror movies now and you're like, God, why can't someone just do this? It seems like it would be so easy. The plot's not that complex, but it just shows that all the elements, you know, make for a good film, basically. And the final thing holds up. It doesn't feel old at all. Like I said, it's got that nice throwback feel because it is a throwback movie, but you watch it and you're like, man, like I said, why not just make a sequel or the dreaded remake? I mean, it just seems like a good plot, nice and basic. You could update the effects. And the effects thing is kind of what gets me to the bad part. The effects are good overall, but the one negative thing about this movie is the squirting of the liquid from the mouse. It still works, it's pretty effective, but you can just tell it's totally like hose water, you know, like, or some sort of squirting hose. And that's just cheesy. The rest of the movie's fairly creepy, and then when it gets to that, it's kind of like, okay. But it doesn't take you out of it at all. It's basically nitpicking. And then the acting is a little hit and miss. I love Donald Pleasence, I mean, because he always looks so concerned with everything, and he's good, and Victor Wong's good, but the Simon and Simon guy and his little subplot love interest there is a little bit cheesy and probably unnecessary. Donald Pleasence can't be the male lead, I guess, or whatever, but yeah, the acting's a little hit or miss, and that subplot was kind of cheesy. But overall, I'm going to say that Prince of Darkness either needs a damn sequel or like the dreaded remake, because I mean, I love the Prince of Darkness. They'll never replace it. It's, you know, awesome, but I would just like to see someone try to fuck it up, screw it up for modern audiences or something. I don't know. It's just this masochist in me, I guess. I want to see something like that. So I'm going to give the Prince of Darkness a 5 out of 5. It could really be 4.5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, but it's lasted so long and I've got so much joy from the film. I just really would be you know, a disservice to give it anything less than 5 out of 5 because the joy it's brought for me. I mean, I love that Blu-ray. I always used to enjoy watching the movie, so it earned a 5 out of 5 in my book. I've watched it enough times and it's held up. So let me know what you think down below of the Prince of Darkness. I'm sure everybody's seen it pretty much, and if you haven't, rush out and grab that Blu-ray or watch the high-def quality version on VOD or something like that, because it holds up. It really shows I think the quality of filmmaking that went into that movie. So definitely check out Prince of Darkness if you haven't seen it.